Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. We're going to complete these last two mantras that we were going to do last class but didn't have enough time. These are changing the pardon me, the Bol Jatis around so that now you're throwing Tere ketas and Dere genas at the start of your mantras. This helps you to break up your Bol Jatis from standard 2s and 4s that kind of flow together, and now you're breaking up the tal. So instead of having like a gena, tere, tere, gena, gena, tere, tere, gena, 4, 4, easy to chant to, now we're going Dere, gena, gena, tere, tere, keta, gena, tere. So the first pairing is actually Dere, gena, gena, tere, right? Dere, gena, gena, tere is your first pairing. But the Geneta Tere kete is really kind of stuffed in there, so you've got a 6 kind of forming Dere, gena, gena, tere, tere, kete. So your tal is sitting in between this Dere, gena, gena, tere, tere, kete, right? So it's a lot more challenging to play these and to chant to them and to figure out where to actually have it fall. It's easier to play in kirtan, I find. But trying to play it and sing it yourself will be a little challenging at the start to find where to hit the right Krishnas and Ramas and stuff so that you're staying within your tal. So anyway, so let's look at the mantra first here. Dere gena, Dere gena, gena tere, tere keta, gena tere, tere keta, gena tere, gena tage, Dere gena. Dere gena, gena tere, tere keta, gena tere, tere keta, gena tere, gena tage, Dere gena. So this is a new technique that we have as well here. Gena tere gena. So this is a Bol Jati of Tisra here. Gena tere gena. Gena tere gena. Tage Dere gena. A little bit more complicated because you have to get the tage Dere. So this bottom hand is doing more work now. Gena tere gena. Tage Dere gena. Gena tere gena. Tage Dere gena. Gena tere gena. Tage Dere gena. Dere gena. Tage Dere gena. And you can use that for Lofa tal as well, as we'll show before, right? Let's see. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So you would normally use it for just a little double speed there. It's Bol Jati of Catur 2s, but we've got, or Laya Jati of Catur, but we've got the Bol Jati of Tisra there. So I hope you can see as we're progressing, Mridanga actually becomes quite easy, because if you learn the foundations of the Jatis and the hand practices, and then what a tal is, it's so easy to find so many different things to play in these other tals. You know, it's really opens up a lot of stuff for you. So here again, Dere gena, gena tere, tere keta, gena tere, tere keta, gena tere, gena tage, Dere gena. So we have 2 at the start, then you've got your standard 4, gena tere, tere keta, then gena tere, tere keta, 4 again, and then gena tere, gena tage, Dere gena. So you've split up, you've got 6 on the end and 2 at the front to make your 8, and the 8 in the middle. So just more advanced mantras playing around with the Bol Jatis to show you how all this kind of comes together. So chanting slowly with this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, oh, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So here, even I still sometimes want to go to the ge, but you have to remember that you're starting on the Dere, gena, and the Tere, keta. So always get that in mind as you're coming up to it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, so it's a fun little mantra to play. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, tage, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, tage, So you want to get proficient in playing this, then learning how to chant Hare Krishna to it. Chant slowly with it first. The way that you'll pick it up in double speed is by going slowly, by going Hare Krishna, Hare, finding out where you want the Hare Krishna there, or however you want to chant it, so that when you're playing faster, because you won't be able to feel the taal as much, you need to be able to speak over, kind of a taal that doesn't have an easy beat to find. So you have to really practice on where to chant, because you'll find that you're going to try to find a spot and chant your Haris or your Krishnas in the wrong spot, and then you're going to kind of get messed up. So really kind of delve into this and focus on how to chant it nicely. We'll do it once more. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare like a nice little, you can put that in there as part of your jata Tereta. Just, there's so much stuff, you just throw it in there, and just a little salt and pepper for your mantras. So the second one's exactly the same, except less challenging, because we don't have this Geneta, tage, Geneta to start to balance your bottom hand and getting used to putting a little bit more work on the bottom. So here we just have the standard form that you'll see more often in dihas and stuff that we'll give later. And it's just Geneta, Geneta, right? Geneta, keta, Geneta, keta, Geneta, keta, Geneta, keta. So that Bol Jati of Tisra there is less complicated, because all you have is just two Geneta, kenas, right? Or Geneta, keta, Geneta, keta, or for the lagu, Geneta, keta, Geneta, keta. Whereas before we're going Geneta, gena, tage, gena. Way more complicated. So same pattern here. Dere, gena, gena, tere, tere, keta, gena, tere, tere, keta, gena, tere, keta, gena, tere, keta, tere, keta, gena, tere, tere, keta, gena, tere, tere, keta, gena, tere, keta. Right? I'm chanting Hare Krishna, jaw. Always test that to make sure you know what you're doing. So starting slow and then going faster. Hare Krishna. It's a fun mantra to play there. I added like the Tere, kete in there and then got stuffed up. But yeah, these are quite advanced mantras and a lot of fun to practice and play and getting the hang of playing kirtan a little out of Taal. Not out of Taal, but you're just switching the Bol Jatis. So it's a little bit more rolling. It's not specifically groups of 4 bowls, groups of 4 bowls, groups of 4, you know. The jatis are split up a little bit, so it's a little bit more interesting. So now we're going to switch to something else, different hand practice and getting out of looking at Bol Jatis and now changing to Laya Jatis of Tisra Jati, Tryasra Tisra Laya. 3s. This is going to help you to build up your proficiency in the what we call breakdowns, but really it's staying in Das Pahira Taal, and instead of going doggy te te taka gena, doggy te te taka gena, where you're playing Laya Jatis of 2s, right? Tage 2, te te, taka gena 2 2 2. When the kirtan starts getting faster, instead of playing with those 2s and 4s, now you switch to 3/4 time. But you're not really switching to 3/4 time. You're still in Das Pahira 4/4 time, but you're switching to strictly playing jatis and Laya Jatis of 3s, right? So you have 1 2 3 1 2 3, but you're still in Das Pahira Taal. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So the Taal of is still the same. You still have the 8 pieces, but in each single section here, you're not playing 2s, 5s, or anything. You're always playing things that fit into a framework of 3 hits every time. So you can play faster this way because you're reducing the hits by 1. Instead of playing 4 hits or more in each space, now you're playing 3, right? And it gets this marching feel. So the breakdown is not changing the Taal. It's only changing at the end of kirtan. You know, when you hear people Hare Krishna, right? They're going Hare Krishna. So this is what they call a breakdown, and that's switching into a Laya Jati of 3s, Tisra Jati. So we're going to work on learning what these jatis are so that you can become proficient in it. And a lot of it's going to be kind of hand practice to start. And then, you know, we'll start to teach. So what we have to do later, we're not really giving kirtan yet. As all this starts to progress, you're going to have all the tools to then learn your mantras for Das Pahira Taal, like real foundational kirtan mantras, dihas, all of the more complex dihas, then how to play the Tisra Jati at the end in order to play quicker, and all of the foundational mantras and hand practices that fit into that. And then we have the same system that rolls through for the other tals as well. So Lofa Taal, you have the foundational, the kirtan, foundational mantras, the structure, the true structure of the dihas for that. I'm starting to write, and I've written many, all of the dihas that we play that you know in Das Pahira Taal can all be written in Lofa Taal, like kete, tage, kete. Every mantra that you know can be changed and rewritten to fit into that framework. All you have to do is change it from 8 pieces into 4. So you just change the jatis to 8 to 4. And most of the Das Pahiras honestly are based on 6s, and they just add things in to get the extra 8, you know? So there's a lot of 6s that you're gonna see that you can use. And then in Lofa Taal as well, you know, you've got the Catur Laya Jatis, the Tisra Jatis that will show. So all of these things will start to open up how to play all of your tals later. So we've got Tisra Jati in Das Pahira Taal for the breakdown. And these are just hand practices for now. At least these first 2 are. So we've been going Geneta, right? Geneta, kete, right? Geneta, keta, Geneta, gena, all these different things. Now, that's gena, Tere, gena, 4. Now we need 3. Gena, Tere, gena. So we only have 2s there. And if you play in double speed, you have 4. So now we have 3 in each spot. Geneta, Tereta, keneta, Tereta, right? So the Laya is changing now to 3s. Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Geneta. So this really, so if you weren't practicing and following through before the Geneta, right? We were doing gena, tage, Tere, kene, gena, tage, Tere. If you weren't learning how to use your thumb in this way, you're not going to be able to play any of this, and that's why it's so important, because a lot of mridanga requires this movement of the ge, and then the thumb, and then coming up to the ta, geneta. And learning how to open the hand, close the hand, geneta. See anyone playing like this pretty much anywhere, and this is real mridanga, and this is how the hand needs to work for these types of things. All of these things, twisting the wrist. So now 3s, geneta, geneta. So Das Pahira Taal, and we have the Laya Jati in Tisra. 3s, right? Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta. Geneta, Tereta, right? Geneta. So the first part is Geneta, Tereta, right? Tereta, right? Not Tere, keta, just Tereta. 3s now. Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Tereta. Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta. Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta. Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta. Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta. Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta. How to chant with this? Same thing, very easy. Actually, it's just the Laya Jati is changing, but the Bol Jati is still simple to follow. But you've got to now chant. So you can't chant Hare Krishna. So now you've got Hare Krishna. Hare 1, 2, 3, 4. But see, we still have Das Pahira, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you were in Lofa Taal, you'd only have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can play the exact same thing, you just have to have it in 6 segments. 6 mantras rather than 8 mantras. No difference. Super easy to learn this stuff. But here, so now you have to chant. So if you're chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, so the chanting, you have to vocally change the chanting as well to 3/4, so that the mantra is not as extended as it was before, and that will take some time. So you have to learn Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So just practice slowly and practice chanting to it so you can feel the difference. The best way to do it is always Hare, Hare. Always do that, and it gives you that feel of what the feel of this Tisra is supposed to be. Hare. So always go Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, so you can change into the Tisra Laya Jati there as little decorations at the end of your jata tetas, little dihas, so many things, a lot of dihas. Switch into the Tisra Laya Jati as well. Like so many different things. You know, and it just allows you to fit more stuff in there and play quicker, and it's really beautiful for your dihas. So once more for this one, Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Geneta. And you want to make sure that you're getting really onto these tags. Geneta, Tereta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta. Make sure your hands loose on this 45. The fingers are curved and loose like a whip. So you're not really taking your hand very far off the drum because the fingers are curved. They're able to maintain a lot more contact with the drum. You see a lot of people, like if I'm trying to play like this, it takes a lot more effort because I'm very rigid and stiff and straight, and we're moving large distances. And if you're moving large distances, then the momentum that you're able to create is less, and you're having to move further. So obviously it's going to take longer, right? So moving with your hand more curved, I'm able to open my hand, but because it's so curved, the fingers are able to really kind of stay connected to the mridanga. Geneta, Geneta. See, if I'm like this, it's harder to do it because you're just adding that extra space. Plus, when you keep your hands like this, your index finger doesn't come apart and splay away from you, which totally ruins your hand. And took me about 10 years to figure this out, maybe 11. So just keep those fingers loose and your hand's going to stay in one piece. Once you start getting like this and tight, then it really becomes a nightmare. So let's chant once more with that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Right? Next one, very simple. Geneta, Tereta. Geneta, Tereta, keneta, Tere. So Guru and Lagu, very short just to get this practice now. Geneta, Tereta, keneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, keneta. Geneta, Geneta, Tereta, keneta. Make sure you're really strong on the te, that fourth hit. Geneta, Tereta, keneta, Tereta. So you can use it in so many different cases. We'll write some dihas later with these different things. It says, seeing something on my phone there and got distracted. But yeah, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta. But feel that Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta, Tereta, Geneta. What? So let's show how you can use this. Hare Then you can switch. Hare so you can switch between them too in a kirtan. So many different crazy things that you can do. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of things. 28 minutes. Well, I guess we'll leave it at that. That's 4 mantras for today, and we'll pick it up. We've got quite a bit of Tisra Jati, probably like, I don't know, 25 mantras or something, just some basic ones to start with, not like kirtan or dihas particularly, but mostly some kirtan, but mostly just building that foundation of your Laya Tisra Jati, and building up that hand speed and practice. Hare Krishna.